Hello, this is Duane, the Great Writer, once again, and this is episode 7 of the Real Wake Up Now. I am doing these various episodes as a public service, you might say, to let people know what's really taking place, and all a person has to do is simply take the time and to test and sing the new you, the new sound, and read the new books that I've written. They're available for people to have a better understanding of themselves and the whole of life. This is a big journey for all of us. We're all in the same life. And so I'm on my adventure. I'm having fun with it. And this is episode 7. And today I'm going to be talking about what I term as universal positioning. Now, this is an exceptional reality all its own, even though many may think in their minds that it's similar to other things. And I'm going to give references here and comparisons so that people know. And I, myself, have come through various means through lifetimes, like everybody has. Everybody does. And we all come through, various ways of waking up. And there's many types of wake up. It's a continuation of waking up. And today a lot of people are waking up, but really not all the way, you might say. In other words, it's, in different stages. A lot of people are finally, after many thousands of lifetimes of being suppressed, are finally waking up to all the suppression that is taking place. And this is simply the first step. They're waking up to, the various systems of political, which have been invented, political, religious, spiritual, educational, and especially today in this age, in the last several hundred years, scientific systems that have created so many things and actually have created a huge detriment to the world. And so, in nothing that I do am I predicting any doom for the planet or others. That's not the idea, even though it may sound like that sometimes. That's really not the idea. It is simply a warning in its own way. But actually, I'm really reporting the news. I'm simply reporting what's taking place. I'm not deciding it. It's like chemtrails in the sky. We talk about chemtrails all the time. And for the most part, most people think, well, that's no big deal, or what can I do about it, etc. Well, the first step is to at least become aware of it. But if you don't want to, that's okay. Most people do not understand how cause and effect creation works. As we're all in creation here, and we have these bodies, and we have 5 bodies, and most people don't know that either. They just think that they're the physical body, and it is the basis of ourselves while we're having this experience. And we are here to have this experience in the physical sense with the other 4 unseen bodies, because this is part of the wake-up to recognize the true reality life is, more so than what is created in creation. Creation has its place. And I will say this, and I've said it many times, and that is, nothing is negated. Everything has its place, and you decide your position, you decide your life. That's your right, that's your adventure. If a person wants to stay in reincarnation and karma and cause and effect creation, that's their right to do so. They will always be the unconscious effect of what is taking place. Or you can have a complete wake-up in the real universes and no longer be the effect of anything, be completely free. That's real freedom, and this is what universal positioning is all about. So I'm going to go through the various means and modus operandi, you can say, or different ways that people have experiences more so than just their physical life. And some of these ways are like astral projection, remote viewing. There's another one called quantum leaping. There's many varieties and various ways of doing this, soul traveling, etc. And I came up through these things during this lifetime. I was with the real guides. I was with Paul Twitchell in the beginning, Rebus Artars, still am. They're always with me. They've asked me to step forward, which they did in 2001. At the time, it was called the Rod of Power, which Paul was given in 1965, and then they gave it to me in 2001. Well, now it's the New Wave Is. They asked me to change the name because there are so many deceptors out there, and we will be doing another program. I'm going to advertise this. I'm going to throw in a little commercial here on Blog Talk Radio, which will be on January 15th at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It is, the name of the program will be called What Real Masters Do Not Do. And that's going to be a fun program too. And we'll have callers. We'll have caller in. So you want to be sure and hear that program too. Again, it's on January. It's not January. What am I saying here? It is October 15th, okay? I'm already into next year, all right? So it's not 2017 yet. It's October 15th. Yes, you're going to have to X that out, Chris. Okay, it's October 15th, yes, at 7 p.m. So, anyhow, that's a little plug for that. That's going to be fun. Like I said, we're going to have caller in, so you want to be sure and listen. You will learn a lot from that also. So again, tonight it's universal positioning. First of all, as I've come up through this and what I've learned in my own real side experiences, which many people refer to as the inner or other worlds or the different levels, and we've drawn out and we've created images of these different levels and defined them accordingly from the physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, deep dark border, the seventh level and on up into the real universes and into the all is. Now, it is still so that many people think in their minds that the all is like God, or what Paul referred to for a while as the Sugmod. But it's not. It's not at all. And so these are just references now, but the all is the true reality. And it's a recognition all its own. And this is where universal positioning comes in. But I'm going to start off at the physical level here, and that is that we have our physical body with our five senses. And for those that want to learn more, they usually start off with their dreams. And this is when you do the new you sessions, when you start singing the new you start to watch your dreams. And as you do, your dreams start to open up because the other worlds, we'll just say that, we'll use that term, start to open up. That becomes the real side. And there's many areas. There's unlimited areas on the real side is what there is. And for the longest time, you're going to go through the process of creation because there's a lot to creation. There's a lot to the basic 5 levels of creation to learn, to gather a reference, to be able to recognize the all is. And this is what creation's all about. Even though most people think that creation is the ultimate, and this is what life is here, being in the body form. And it is fun being in the body form. It is a fun place. It's like a big playground, is what it is. But at the same time, for the most part, you're dealing with cause and effect, because it is all cause and effect. This is where the idea of karma comes in, and karma is just simply cause and effect. For every action, there is a reaction. In other words, everything equals itself. In reality, this doesn't work like this. There's no cause and effect reaction. It's an isness. This is where the real universes actually separate themselves from creation itself. And everybody is experiencing this isness, but what they're not seeing is that they're not recognizing it. And this becomes the difference between recognition and being the effect in cause and effect creation. So it's a decision that each person makes, and it's kind of like you're doing your homework at school. You have to do your homework. You have to study, you might say. You have to figure this out for yourself, how to recognize this and position yourself. And this is where universal positioning comes in. And so there is a difference between that astral projection, remote viewing, soul traveling. Now, Paul Twitchell, with his creation, used the term soul traveling and actually started off with astral projection. Paul was kind of like the babysitter for many people. He was starting this off before my time was to come. Paul was to come first. Before we came into this lifetime, this was all planned for him to come first, and then I was to come after him to do the true completeness, and that's what I'm doing, and to provide the is and the all-isness for this world. Ready or not, here it is, because it is a big step. So the first position is what Paul did in the beginning was he just he showed people how to get out of their body just so that they could prove to themselves that they weren't the body alone. This was the whole idea, is just that you are more than the body. Because up until that time, for the most part, it was the religious idea that, oh, you have a soul, and that it's floating around there somewhere, or whatever the idea is. And then Paul came in and said, well, you are soul, and this is, and as you project out of yourself, you start to see that there is more to you than just the body. Well, there's more to the soul idea than that alone. And so I don't use that idea. I use the term your real awareness, the real you, simply because it's a more so position than just the soul idea. The soul idea has been so saturated with misunderstanding, like a lot of these ideas, and also the various words that were used in the past, like amen, Hugh, whatever. These things are saturated with misunderstanding and actually cryptic relationships, and to where it's become like voodoo magic, reptilianistic stuff, etc. It's all become infected. And for those that can see it on the real side, and I've talked with many people that can leave their body and go to the other worlds, but they don't even see it because they don't have the awareness to see it, even though they do have these experiences, and some people are multidimensional. They still don't know what their real awareness is. This becomes the difference between astral projection, soul traveling, and universal positioning. It's a unique position all its own, because it's your real awareness defined and recognizing the all is. And yes, there is a huge difference between it and then the gods of man. The gods of man that most people worship and pray to are on the astral, causal, mental realms. And there are gods here also that people look to as certain individuals are thought of as gods. And, this is to where people have set themselves up here as queens and presidents, diplomats, movie stars, whatever. They're thought of as gods in their own way. And the gods of man are actually the same. But they have the ability to disguise themselves as you go into the other worlds. As a person goes into the astral, causal, mental realms, they can disguise themselves and they can appear to be whatever they want, and so they fool the people of the earth that all of a sudden start to have experiences outside of themselves. And so it does take a little while to figure things out, just like here. It takes a while to figure certain things out. And so with these various means like astral projection, remote viewing, and soul traveling, you get a very limited view of what is taking place in creation. You don't get the whole view until you really are able to learn and recognize universal positioning to get a complete overview. And so the real universal guides that Paul started off and called them masters, they are no longer playing that role. That was a role they played. And they are not with any masters. They are not with any organizations. They stand with the new man. The new wave is. They do not stand with others, but they do relate to others, even though they may be in religion or spiritual paths. But they do not relate to any masters or what have you that have been allocated in the past. That's all done with. The days of masters and gurus are gone. They actually are. And so many of these people that are in these so-called spiritual paths or religions or what have you, or pray to the gods, they're actually worshiping, praying and worshiping, actually all started off as sacrifices. These are sacrificial positions where the individual actually sacrifices themselves. And so it has come around, it has come full circle to where this has always been taking place, and it's still going on. Most people haven't woken up, and today more than ever, people are still following religion, still worshiping and praying to gods. This is a one-dimensional activity, actually. And even though it goes into the other worlds, into the invisible side, and has a cause and effect reaction there, it's basically one-dimensional, because as one moves through the various levels of human creation, these things for the most part don't exist except for the agreement of the individual. And it's just very interesting how it works. So when a person has their basis in a one-dimensional physical idea, well, they hold to that. So even when they pass to the other side many times, yes, they can have a little happy life or a scene, but they will hold to these ideas, and unconsciously they're held in their tap line, their astrally tap line, and they will come back here unconscious again. And so the gods of man are simply managers on the various levels. That's all they are. Just like a supervisor or a manager of a company. That's really all they are. So there are no gods. There's no such thing as gods. Just like a president is an elected person, and just like the kings and queens of the earth, they've elected themselves, and these are people that have done takeovers, is actually what they are. There is only one true reality, and that is the all is. But this is a position in the real universes to be recognized, and this is UP, universal positioning. And for the most part, most people want a thrill in their life, which is fine. I've done all these things. I've moved through these levels, etc., and it is fun. But there's actually even a bigger and better picture, but it's not for everybody. So all I can do is provide this. It's kind of like a smorgasbord. You provide all these various things for people to have their meal with, you might say. But there's one item that can, that can provide everything. We'll just pretend, let's say it's an avocado. So you can eat all these various foods to get your nutrients. You can eat 20 various foods, and you still don't get it. But let's say the avocado is it, and you eat one avocado and you're fine. So this is universal positioning, or the all is, because it is all life itself. Now the God idea has been set up basically to control the masses. This comes into what we term as human farming, and that's what this planet is. It is a controlled planet. And if we go back in history a little bit, we see that the Indians, we'll just use the American Indians because they're fun, and not like in the cowboy and Indian movies. That's Hollywood. But the actual Indians, when they lived here in their natural environment, their focus was on the natural environment. Today, people, yes, they do have plants in their yard. They do, grow flowers and do things. But overall, the focus is not on the natural environment. The focus is really on destroying the natural environment that supports all of us. But in the days of the indigenous Indians that were first here, before the white men from Europe came and did what they did, industrialize this place, their focus was on the natural environment every day. They didn't get up, and their attitude wasn't, well, let's build a factory here and let's build a housing tract here, and we'll make a lot of money if we put a shopping mall over here. No, that wasn't their focus. Their focus was the natural environment. But today it is, let's build this hotel, let's do the shopping mall, let's create this resort, let's build a new freeway. And so let's just destroy everything in its path, and let's just, cement the place in. This is the focus today, destroy the natural environment that supports us until it's all gone, until it's all infected and all gone. And this is also what has happened to many of the things that were, precious in the past, that did work, that did relate to certain levels of life, etc. Well, they've been infected and destroyed too. And still, most people do not have the awareness to see this.